Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fantastic lesson put together by Forge College, right from their Bitcoin fundamentals track. We're picking up exactly where we left off in guided build, inputs, and outputs. So you've been grinding away, right? Assembling and serializing all those raw pieces of a Bitcoin transaction. The version, inputs, outputs, lock time, the whole shebang. But before we just launch that data out into the wild, we really need to talk about security. Okay, let's really think about this. You've built your inputs and outputs, you've got all those hex codes perfectly lined up, but is your transaction actually road ready, or are the wings literally going to fall off the second it hits the Bitcoin network? Before we broadcast anything, we have to do a critical pre-flight safety inspection, because if we skip this, just one single tiny mismatched byte can cause the network nodes to flat out reject all your hard work. And let's be honest, nobody wants the network laughing at them. So here is our safety inspection checklist for today's explainer. We're going to cover the pre-flight safety check, building your diagnostic scanner, X-raying structural accuracy, spotting critical security flags, and finally, fixing and finalizing. All right, moving into our first main section here, building your diagnostic scanner. This is basically going to be your Python X-ray machine. To actually inspect our transaction, we are absolutely not going to punish ourselves by trying to read raw hex by hand. No way. Instead, we're going to use an AI assistant to help us build a Python diagnostic scanner. Let's call it txdebug.py. This script is going to act like your own personal X-ray machine. Step 1, prompt your AI to scaffold a basic parser. Step 2, validate it against the exact hex you assembled in the last lesson. And step 3, iterate. You just ask the AI to tighten its error detection based on what it finds. It's this continuous, really satisfying loop of building, testing, and refining. Now, when you prompt the AI, you've got to keep it strictly constrained to a few key parameters. Tell it to use Python 3, force it to use the standard library only, make sure it accepts a hex-encoded raw transaction, and have it spit out JSON-friendly diagnostics. Why restrict it to just the standard library? Well, we want this scanner to be a pure, totally deterministic diagnostic tool. We definitely don't want it phoning home or making weird external network calls. It just needs to parse the data and report back, plain and simple. Okay, next up, Section 2, X-raying structural accuracy. What is actually inside the hex? So what's our scanner actually hunting for? Well, it's cracking open that hex string to examine the exact byte structures of our inputs, our outputs, and, most importantly, our signatures. Like the source material points out, signature bytes are structural, not opaque. This is such a crucial principle to grasp. Signatures in Bitcoin aren't just, random magical blobs of math you can just toss in. They have super strict formatting rules. If they don't look exactly how the network expects them to look, the network will bounce your transaction in a heartbeat. And that specific structure, it's called a DER-encoded signature. Our scanner has to check if the scriptSig or witness data actually contains this exact formatting. We're talking about an initial 0x30 tag, a length byte, an OXO2 tag, the integers, the whole 9 yards. Crucially, the scanner has to make sure the length bytes perfectly match the actual push size. Think about it. If the length byte says there are 70 bytes, but you've actually only got 68, your transaction is fundamentally broken. Tied right into that is the sighash byte. I love this analogy. Think of the sighash byte like a notary stamp at the very end of a complex legal contract. It's a trailing byte, usually 0x01, that gets appended to the DR signature. It literally tells the network exactly which parts of the transaction you're signing off on. If that notary stamp is missing, well, the signature's utterly useless. Your new diagnostic tool absolutely must look for this. Moving on to Section 3, spotting critical security flags. Basically, looking for the check engine lights. So, when you fire up your scanner, it might throw a few security flags. Treat these exactly like the check engine light on your car's dashboard. You wouldn't ignore a blinking red light while driving down the highway, right? So don't ignore these before broadcasting. Your debug report needs to identify specific fixable errors. For instance, if it flags missing sighash, that's a total facepalm moment where you just forgot to append that trailing byte. The fix? Just append it. Or if it flags non-canonical DER, you've got a length mismatch, so you need to go in and fix your DER encoding length. It's all about taking these invisible errors and making them visible. Another classic flag your scanner needs to catch is all about public keys. You've got compressed public keys starting with 0x02 or 0x03 versus uncompressed public keys, which start with 0x04. Using a compressed key is honestly just like zipping a file to save space. It shrinks the byte size of your transaction, which directly reduces your network fees and prevents non-standardness issues. If your scanner spots an uncompressed key when a compressed one would do, it should definitely throw a warning. But your scanner shouldn't stop there. It really needs to warn you about other potential landmines. We're talking about bloated, extremely large scriptSigs that cost way too much to process. Or, say, sequence numbers that accidentally trigger replaced by fee when you totally didn't intend to. Oh, and it should also flag your locktime interactions if they look a bit off. These are subtle, sneaky bugs that can completely alter how your transaction behaves once it's out in the wild. Which brings us to Section 4. Fixing and finalizing. Getting ready for takeoff. All right, once we've scanned the hex and diagnosed the problems, it is time to stop staring at the check engine light, grab a wrench, and actually fix the engine. You'll go back to the raw transaction hex you assembled earlier. Treat every single flag as a precise surgical edit. Length field off by 1, fix it. Missing a sighash, add that 0x01. Pub key uncompressed, compress it. You want to make small, hyper-focused edits to clear every single flag before you submit. Remember, your parser is just a diagnostic tool. It's not going to magically fix it for you. You have to do the actual fixing. And if you follow these diagnostic steps, your transaction is absolutely going to pass the network's final inspection. But it kind of leaves us with a bigger question, right? If the Bitcoin network is this entirely unforgiving of even a single mismatched byte, how are these strict deterministic rules going to shape the future of autonomous smart contracts? Just a little something to chew on as you prepare to broadcast. If you want to learn more about this incredible subject and really dive deep into Web3, make sure you visit forge.college. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.